everyone, it's your girl Asia from the Roman Reigns Fango channel. Welcome back to my channel. I am back here today to do another Degrassi deep dive season review. Just want to give you guys a little update. There has still been no episode posted for Found. I'm kind of over at this point. I feel like if they don't post it by Monday, I'm just gonna do something where next Thursday they do an episode. I'm just gonna watch that and just combine the two in two reviews, because honestly at this point I do feel like they dragging this season, and I kind of been having this mindset where I just want to wait until the season is over to review every episode. I think that's kind of in the mindset that I'm in right now, because there's still been no episode posted for episode 17, which I think is fucking ridiculous that it has not been posted yet. So just want to give you guys a little update who's been waiting for me to do a review. Well, they haven't posted the episode yet, so once they do, I will be on here to do my review. And another thing, season 6 and season 7 will be. I'm going to be doing season 6 and season 7 Degrassi seasons today. And then Monday, or probably later on today, I'm going to be talking about Kick Badowski and doing my. I'm going to talk about Kick Badowski being an underrated gem and talk about Mad being an underrated cartoon from Cartoon Network. So if those going to get done today, they will be getting done tomorrow. As for today's video, we're going to be talking about season 6 from Degrassi, an underrated season in my opinion. And why would some of y'all think why I think it's underrated? I think season 6 for Degrassi is underrated because when I watch people react to Degrassi or watch seasons for Degrassi, you always hear people say that once we reach season 5 or season 6, that's when like the quality went down. And I feel like, me personally, I'm going to take season 6 over season 5. I kind of explained how I feel about season 5 for Degrassi. I literally went on a really hard rant about it, and I honestly feel like nostalgia saves season 5. I don't really think that's like one of the best seasons from the OG era. And like I said, I definitely think nostalgia saves it because it's always in people's top 5 or top 3, which makes sense, right? It's from the OG era. It's one of the earlier seasons. Um, of course, you would prefer over the newer generation seasons, but in my opinion, I would take season 12 and 13 over season 5. Y'all shit on season 6 when honestly, it's a great season. Is there some filler in here? Absolutely. Are there characters they give storylines to that I can care less about? Absolutely. They were giving characters like Marco and Jimmy storylines, and everyone knows I don't care for them. I never have. Jimmy and Marco are not none of my favorite characters from Degrassi. So, whew. So sometimes I just feel like, what is the point of giving them storylines or giving them any ounce of screen time? I never cared for Marco and Dylan's relationship. I never cared for Jimmy or like that. I thought he was okay once he got shot, but Jimmy really was one of my favorite characters. So giving him a whole episode where he's trying to sell T-shirts, don't care. Giving Marco a whole episode where he thought Dylan was cheating on him, don't give a fuck. I just don't care. And another thing, I did not like. Is it this season? Yes, this is the season where they was doing like high school / college storylines. I just want to tell you about right now. I do not care for none of the college storylines. I don't. I don't care about none of the college storylines they have done in this show. Not with Ellie, Marco, and Paige. Not with Emma, Minnie, and Liberty. I do not care for the college storylines because I think it was really dumb to try to split. Oh, let's show them in college and let's show the kids in high school, because it's like once Ellie and them graduated, they should have left. I feel like some storylines they could have gave to some kids in season 6 was probably robbed because they still had Marco and Ellie and them getting storylines in college. I mean, Paige was probably like the only, because before she moved back and came home, where her and Alex like was like in a big confusion for their relationship, I did like her storylines with college, like flunking out, having like crazy anxiety, like she worked her whole life, worked her ass off to get into college, and she's completely flunking all of her classes. She has crazy anxiety. I feel like people didn't really understand what Paige was going through. Like, I always liked those storylines. She burned her dorm down because she couldn't do her work. Paige had a really good storyline in season 6 with her whole college storyline, having crazy anxiety. I loved all of that. The only thing in this season I can really say that I did not like was you brought Sean back just to be Emma's boyfriend. You don't do anything with his character. I mean, I guess you could say a crazy thing about love is where you could do something with his character. I mean, I guess, because yes, he was working at the car retail place. I mean, like Sean, just Sean. I mean, like just an episode with just Sean's point of view, him being the main character in season 6 would have been great. You give someone else the B plot that we don't care for, and the A plot is just all about him. Like they could have did something with Sean, but bringing him back and just making him Emma's boyfriend, I was not a fan of that. Like, but before when I first got into this show, I would say it's something that didn't bother me. But when I listened to the guys' review, I definitely I was not a fan of just bringing Sean back to be Emma's boyfriend. It's like this nigga was going for a season and a half. It's like tell us something we might not know about Sean. Like fill us in the bubbles. It's like y'all were just so quick to put him and Emma back together and just make him Emma's boyfriend. Which is like I'm never gonna be mad at Spima getting back together. Emma and Sean is one of the one couples in this show that I actually do fucking like, and I was not against them being in a relationship. My only issue was you put them in a relationship and you did nothing with Sean. He was just her boyfriend. And if their relationship gets like no screen time, like all the shit I thought we were going to see with the relationship, we didn't even get to see that. They had that one episode. They had the first 2 episodes. They had the episode when they got back together, and they had the episode, a crazy thing called Love, when he got out of jail. So I guess you could say, yeah, Emma and Sean had like 4 episodes as an A plot on their relationship. Okay, cool. I could get down with that. But it was so much more in the relationship that I feel like we never got to see that you really got to see with the other couples in a newer generation. Like you got to see Eli and Claire's first I love you. You got to see when they had their first time with each other. In the OG era, you don't get to see any of that. And especially with your top couples, it's like it was completely robbed. So it's like I was not a fan of just bringing Sean back and making him Emma's boyfriend. I did not like that. Another thing I didn't like, I did not care for Mia being in this show. I don't know why she feel like I don't know why they brought Mia back. I feel like putting Mia and JT in a relationship was completely unfucking necessary because I never was really a big fan of. I just don't like Nina Dobrev's acting for Mia. Um, And I just don't care for Mia. Like, I could care less about her and JT's relationship. I could care less about what they were trying to do for them. I just didn't care. And I really didn't care about Liberty and JT either. So, it's just a whole, like, those were some of the storylines I didn't really care for real. Like, Mia and JT and all that other shit. I ain't care about none of that shit. I didn't like how they put Sean, like, no. I don't like how they just made Sean Emma's boyfriend is what I would say. But I feel like season 6 is really like an underrated season for real, because it was some good episodes in here. Like I love the whole Darcy storyline. I could not believe her and Spinner were still in a fucking relationship when that episode happened with her, basically making the OnlyFans and posting hot pictures, and that the creepy guy who was texting her about liking her pictures and shit, like followed her, came to her school, and then came to her house. Like that was fucking crazy. Like them episodes are overlooked. Like they should have did more episodes about being careful on the internet and how the internet is really a dangerous fucking place. Like there's so many people hiding what they do on the internet. It's so much crazy shit going on the internet that is how some people get kidnapped. Like no shit. That is literally how some people be getting kidnapped. Like people be getting kidnapped and just from chatting on strangers with online, like the shit is like really crazy. So it's like you really gotta be careful on what you do on the internet and shit like that. I feel like, but it never made sense to me that they had Darcy date Peter after what he did. Huh? Right. That was crazy. Um, I did like how they made Craig came back and they did the episodes with him being addicted to cocaine. I thought that was great, and I feel like Jake Epstein was only gone for like one season because he left in season 5. He didn't graduate. I felt like he came back and still had that acting shit. I was all for him and Ellie being in a relationship. I feel like I just did not like how they made Ellie so thirsty. Like they really made her thirsty to the fact that she honestly believed it was Manny's drugs and didn't think for once it was Craig. But it's like I can't necessarily blame her because it's like she was giving Craig the benefit of the doubt. You never don't want to think that someone you love or care for is doing drugs, right? And it's just like people gonna say, "Oh, she didn't notice any changes towards Craig." What it's like he didn't really look like he was doing drugs for until the part 2 episode when she walked in on him in the dressing room. He literally looked like he was doing drugs. Like he looked at pale. He looked like he haven't slept in days. He looked like he was doing drugs when she walked in on him when they kissed. But before that, when he first came to town and he had sniffed it the first time when he sung the song at the concert, no, I don't think you could tell because he did not look like he was doing drugs. But in the part 2 episode where she walked in on him, yes, he did look like he's been doing drugs for quite some time. He looked at sick. He looked at pale. He like he haven't ate or slept in days. Um, Craig doing cocaine is really one of my favorite storylines ever in Degrassi. Just for him to only have 2 episodes in that season based on him doing a drug, I thought that was great. Like I said, Jake Epstein's acting was really top fucking notch. Fucking great. Top notch. Like, one of my favorite scenes with him is when he was on the stage and the blood came out of his nose and everybody just looked at, like, in disbelief. That's one of my greatest scenes because there was no talking. They all was just looking at him because he was still singing as the blood was coming out of his nose. Great, great, great scene. Excellent scene. Did not care for Peter and Darcy's relationship. Um, I was so glad when they broke up Craig and Manny. It was about time to end that shit because it's like, I don't know why the fuck the writers were so obsessed with trying to make them, I guess you could say, one of their in-game couples in Degrassi. I was not a fan of that. I did not like how they kept putting Manny and Craig together. They should never have done that shit to begin with in season 5. You should have put Craig with Ellie. Period. And to say, oh, he was going to leave anyway, so it wouldn't have lasted. It's like, bitch, I don't care if it wouldn't have lasted. We wasted all this time. All this fucking time. Never putting Craig and Ellie together to where it's like, what the fuck? You should have put them together. No one was ever checking for Craig and Manny. So why the fuck you keep trying to force them down our goddamn throats? I was really over them. And not only that, Manny did Craig with coke. Enough fucking said. Why the hell did this need to happen? I feel like this is probably the one season where I feel like Emma didn't do much. Emma didn't really have like a lot of storylines in this season. Like she didn't really do much. Like, not really. This season for the most part was chill. I feel like season 5 and both season 6 were like chill seasons. I feel like, but I just feel like season 6 to me gets like a lot of rewatch out of me. Like, I can watch a whole season of season 6. Season 5, my biggest problem is that they did all the important storylines literally in the beginning, and then towards the end, you only had Emma anorexia storylines to really look for, and then everything else felt like filler. Like, I don't give a fuck about Ashley and Jimmy's relationship. So why the fuck is that getting so much POV in that season? It's the same thing in here. I don't care for their relationship, so why the fuck is it getting so much POV? I don't give a fuck for their relationship. JT getting stabbed was definitely really, really good in this season. For people to say what was really good outside of that, like, bitch, are you crazy? Jason getting stabbed, I'm not gonna lie, definitely was the highlight of the season. Because they actually killed off a main character. They killed off an OG. And JT dying is still one of the saddest episodes I ever watched in any television show. I feel bad for the people who watch Degrassi and not know his death is coming and not know that his death is about to happen. Because his death still shocks me whenever I watch season 6. Like, I put on an episode, Gonna Rock This Town. I put that shit on and I still cry when he gets stabbed. I still cry when the doctor said he didn't make it. Because it's like, damn, I'm back to when I first watched it because I didn't remember as much. Because JT to me was more popular in death than he ever was alive. Because he didn't really do anything when he was alive, but you fuck with JT because he was the class clown and he was always putting smiles on people's faces. So it's like he was a good soul. But at the end of the day, JT wasn't really one of my favorite characters. I could care less for him, but I did cry when he died because I thought that shit was really sad. To know that he died and never got a chance to tell Liberty how he felt, that does suck. That alone in of itself makes it really sad because she would never know that he was on his way to tell her that he loved her. And I did not like how Mia was trying to make it seem like Liberty wasn't grieving JT because she didn't cry. I feel like people grieve differently, and I think we live in this world where people feel like if you don't cry, you're not grieving, which I think is completely bullshit. Some people can be in shock when it comes to death. I know sometimes when I hear news that someone I love has passed away, I'm a little in shock, but the first thing I do, intentionally do, I think I get angry because I ask myself, why them? And then I get sad. And I feel like Liberty was sad. I think she just didn't know how to. Do I feel like Liberty is a robot? Yes. When Mia says she's a talking, walking computer, I definitely agree. I feel like Liberty has never been the one to really like be comfortable with using her emotions or being emotional, and you kind of see that in season 5 with her being pregnant and kind of like wanting to control JT and not wanting him to be involved in the pregnancy at all because she never ever had to ask anyone for help. She's independent. She doesn't know how to use her emotions, and I do feel like she was like a robot. Like she really was a robot. I'm not lying. I'm not gonna knock Mia when she said that. Liberty definitely was a fucking robot. She definitely was. She was definitely a walking, talking computer. But I think when she actually noticed, when she realized JT was actually gone, and that you know he's not coming back, and that night with him getting murdered did indeed happen, I think that's when she finally realized like she never got a chance to say goodbye to JT. He was taken from her. No one got a chance to say goodbye to JT. No one knew that party would have been the last time they saw JT alive. But when Toby told her that he was going to tell her that he was in love with her, I think it kicked in that he's really gone because because I'm never gonna hear him tell me those words ever again. You feel me? So I just feel like that's when it finally kicked in for like Liberty because it's like the same thing with Maya, right, from season 12 when Cam committed suicide and she just didn't know how to like react. And I always feel like people always feel like it was weird for her not to react. To me, it's like what Maya said. She's never been that girl who had a dead boyfriend before. So it's just like, how the fuck was she supposed to react? And I just feel like Maya needed to have that instinct that Cam was gone. So I feel like when she said he he like Cam killed himself and she never ever got a chance to say goodbye, I think that's when it finally kicked in. And there was a lot of emotion in that scene, and I felt everything she said. Like, I felt every word Maya said. I felt her fucking pain, because it's like, girl, the worst news you could ever get is getting a phone call about someone you love and care for dying, and you wondering, why didn't you call them more? Why didn't you spend more time with them? Now you're consumed with guilt and grief. That shit is even going to rock you even more. So, I definitely feel like JT dying was definitely the highlight of the season. The whole Paige and Alex back and forth really fucking frustrated me in this season because I could have did without it. And I say that because at the end of season 5, I guess I always get confused because it's like I don't know if they like initiated them being together at the end of their part 2 episode, or they were building on being a relationship. But it's like when you watch season 6, clearly Alex wanted more. Alex wanted Paige to come out to her parents being bisexual, and Paige didn't want to do that because she felt like it was just too much pressure, so she didn't want to be with Alex. And it's just like Paige was definitely the bad guy in the whole her and Alex storyline because Paige knew how Alex felt about her, and she kept leading her on. She kept leading her on. It's like, you want to kiss me, you want to hug me, you want to sleep here and be all up under me, but you don't want to be in a relationship with me, and you don't want to come out to your parents as bisexual. You don't get to tell me I don't have a right to be upset. I'm fucking in love with you, and you just pretend like I'm not. Because in season 5, Alex told Paige to date other people, but she never told her to sleep with any guy. So a lot of people was like, why is Alex upset when she told Paige to go figure out what to do? I understand that she only told that to Paige because she realized Paige was uncomfortable being with women. So she thought with Paige, if Paige was going to date, she was probably going to date other women. She didn't thought she was going to be sleeping around or casual dating with this guy and then sleeping with Spinner. And then when she kissed Paige and told her that she's in love with her and that it scares the shit out of her because she's afraid she might lose her, Paige basically shot her down and said she just can't deal with her emotions. And it's the same shit in season 6. Paige, you don't want to hear about yourself. You don't want to hear how you basically leading this girl on that's fucking in love with you. You just want to be cool with kissing all over on her, sleeping here, having sex, but you don't want to have the whole relationship. Knowing how she feel, Paige was really the bad guy in the whole Alex and her and Alex relationship, because she kept leading Paige. She kept leading Alex on. She just would keep leading her on. Now, as far as their whole relationship, I kind of have a sense it wasn't going to work because Paige was someone who could not do with stability, and I feel like when it came to that point where her and Paige were trying to be that, she could not have it. So it is what it is. But I loved Alex's whole stripping storyline. That was great. I thought season 6 was a good season. I'm giving season 6 a 10 out of 10. It gave me everything I wanted in this season. I'm not going to knock it for it. I love season 6. So, with that being said, this is my season 6 review for Degrassi. I'm going to catch y'all on my season 7 review. And like I said, Monday or probably today, I will be uploading my cartoon content. If not, it will definitely be Monday. Until then, catch y'all later.